Groom's friends poured champagne on the bride, and he just watched. When I was in college, I think about 18 years old, I attended the wedding of a kind of a friend. He used to work for my dad and his mom worked with my mom. I didn't know the bride. A little background. We're Asian, specifically Vietnamese. If you know Vietnamese people, you know we can go pretty hard at weddings and events. You get all kinds of crazy though. For example, my cousin just got married and her sister-in-law wore red to her wedding ceremony where the bride was wearing red and then wore white to the reception where the bride was wearing white. Ceremonies are traditional and the traditional wedding color for us is red. I could not comprehend. Another example was during my aunt's wedding, one of her husband's, my uncle's, friends got drunk, took one layer of her wedding cake off and started dancing with it, only for it to slip out of his hand and land in the middle of the dancing floor. But it gets more unhinged. So at this wedding I attended, the bride and groom went to each table to thank the guests personally for attending. This is traditional. When they got to our table where I was sitting with the groom's friends, guys I knew from childhood, they started pestering the couple. This is common. Someone will invent some sort of embarrassing game for the bride and groom to do, usually involves drinking and kissing, which generally is seen as too much public affection, so it's embarrassing for the couple, but like in a fun way. But then one of the dudes proceeds to pour a whole bottle of champagne on the bride's head. When I tell you it was the longest minute of my life, he didn't stop until the bottle was empty. The bride was in shock. The groom just stood there. People at the table, including my mom, looked horrified. No one stopped the guy. My mom and I are typically confrontational and outspoken people by nature, but I think we were both so taken aback that we didn't have words. When we came to, it was hard to say something because we didn't want to make a scene, which may have made the bride cry. She was on the brink. When he was done dumping the whole bottle onto her head, they thought we would all be laughing, but the whole table was just silent. The bride then left to change and wash up. I had never seen such irreverent behavior in my life.